you would like refer back to this or share it with your office, it will be posted on our social media pages. So I'll go ahead and hand it over to our Ed Tech Committee Chair, Henrietta here.
Thank you so much, Grace. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Henrietta Gadsden, your CCRA Education and Technology Chairman. And we also have our co-chairman, Kenny McEwen. Thank you for joining and welcome to our Lunch and Learn AI webinar. Please place your questions in the chat and we will try to get to them at the end of the webinar. This course is designed to take the mystery out of artificial intelligence and show you exactly how it applies to your real estate business. You will walk away with a clear understanding of what AI is, how it works, and which tools you can start using today. No tech background required, just a willingness to learn and grow. We have two of our amazing EdTech committee members that will be providing our webinar today. We have James Robertson. James is with LPT Realty. James is a realtor with nearly 8 years of experience in the Columbia, South Carolina market and the founder of Momentum Coaching, a real estate mentoring and coaching business dedicated to helping agents build confidence, productive careers. James brings a practical education, first-minded to everything he does, believing that knowledge is one of the most powerful tools any professional can have. That same belief is what brought him to the world of artificial intelligence. Recognizing how rapidly AI is reshaping the real estate industry, James made his mission to understand these tools deeply so that he could bring the knowledge back to the agents and professionals he serves. Help me welcome James Robertson. And then we have Vince Pace, who's been in the business, who's been a realtor. November, he will be in the business 32 years. Vince has been a licensed realtor in the area and has been with Remax franchise for 26 years. He specializes in home staging and in his off time enjoys boating on Lake Murray, scuba diving in the Keys, and beating up guys who are bigger than him at hockey rink playing for the team he sponsors, the Vince Pace Pacers. Help me welcome Vince. So, guys, go ahead and take it away. We are ready.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Well, good afternoon, rather. We're going to go ahead and get started here. So today we're going to be talking about AI basics. The main things that we want to discuss is prompt writing. So many people are confused when it comes to prompt writing. So we just want to make it easy and simple and yeah, easy and simple and take kind of the mystery out of it. So hopefully you can see my screen. Is my screen sharing?
It just says started screen sharing, but we don't see anything.
Okay. What about now?
Nothing yet. There we go. We're good.
Okay, cool. So the things that we're going to talk about in this session today is why AI matters. This is where it matters to realtors the most. Some of the tips and the tools, because a lot of people struggle with all of the different technology and what kind of goes with what. So we want to talk about the different tools and categories that they kind of fall in. Even though some tools, they actually do fall into multiple categories, we just wanted to give you some of the basics on each one. What is a prompt? How to write a prompt? Virtual staging. We also definitely want to talk about AI and account confidentiality. Next screen. Okay. As well as some reminders, some guidelines and some reminders how to train your AI, and then we'll just have a quick moment of questions and answers if we when we get there. Hopefully you guys will have questions and we'll do our best to answer them as well as possible. I mean, as best as possible during the presentation. But if not, we'll answer as many as we can at the end. So I'm gonna hand it over to Vince right now.
So as it says, every day, we write emails, follow-up social post marketing, updates, presentations for our listing, etc. One of the things that AI is very effective at, and that is helping us, communicate more effectively, compete at a higher level. But talking about marketing and listing, our listing presentations are obviously what is the bread and butter of what we do. The old expression, if you list, you last. And this is where it gives you an immediate visible advantage. So it helps you to craft MLS remarks that are going to grab a buyer's interest when they read it online. And, you want to sell the sizzle, not the steak when you're presenting a property. And you want to motivate them to schedule a showing in person because we all know our job, number one, is to get buyers to the front door. It also will enhance your photos by helping you virtually stage rooms with furniture. It'll make a nice blue sky if it was a gloomy day, those nice fluffy clouds everyone loves. It can even remove clutter from a room and make a room look a lot more minimized and, of course, less personalized. And generating social media post flyers, it's really good at. However, we'll probably have to address that in a different presentation because that in and of itself is there's a lot to learn about that. So bottom line with marketing and listing, why it matters, better marketing means more showings, means, of course, you get your listing sold. Client communications, it's really important as well. How many times have we been trying to write a text, write an email? We've got all our ideas, we've got our thoughts out, but we want to help we just want to refine it. We want to make sure that it communicates what we want. And my primary AI is Chat GPT, and I'll put in there another way to say, and then I'll put my text in or my email, and it comes back with a couple of different options, sometimes 3 or 4, client friendly. One will be conversational, one will be professional, more, real estate agent related, but it does give you a lot of options. It also helps explain things in more plain English. Again, we don't want to be explaining contracts and different things like as if we're attorneys. But for instance, inspections, some sellers have never seen a home inspection report and an addendum, how they're going to possibly understand what the inspector found and what the buyer is requesting to be done. It will help that a lot. And here's another thing we all deal with, of course, is delivering tough news. If we have to talk about a seller regarding a price reduction, a contract issue, something like that, as I mentioned, it will give you different options, how to address it in a softer tone. You can tell AI what type of client you have. Are they, very well versed? Are they have a lot of business acumen? Are they an engineer? And it'll help you kind of personalize it. So, why does that really matter? Because let's face it, a lot of deals are lost, not because we really did anything significantly wrong, but because of communication gaps. And this really, really helps to tighten all that up for us. And then the last thing would be contracts, negotiation, and deal strategy. And this is where it becomes not just a convenience, but a real professional tool. So, when we have to draft an addendum, the language is really important. How many times have we seen an addendum come from an agent? Like no one on this webinar, but an agent sends it, and the language is very ambiguous, not specific enough. Well, this will help you to put that addendum verbiage and the clauses, in it clearly, quickly. Everybody understands it. Can break down language. Maybe you're getting an offer on a contract that's a state contract, and we're all used to using the CCRA. It can help summarize that. You can put that contract after you redact the information, confidential information into AI and say, give me a summary of the most important aspects of this contract that I can help my seller to understand better. And then it'll help structure, the offer terms, timelines, positioning, give you the pros and cons of different responses to inspections, how the seller might respond to what they're willing to do regarding a remedy. And also what's really important, and when we've got this, we're now at a 9-page contract. I know when I got in the business in 94, it was on one legal sheet and the back of it was only half. So it's obviously, there's a lot more information and it's ever evolving. So this helps us catch missing details that are important to share with our buyer or seller who we're working with, but also so that we can stay mindful of it. So from that aspect, the contracts, negotiation, and deal strategy, why it really matters: clarity, speed, and strategy. Smoother transactions and stronger trust.
All right, so let's talk about some of the best tools and the best uses. So when it comes to writing and communication, we have ChatGPT, which is really the most famous of them all. It's great for listing descriptions, emails, scripts, objection handling, and responses. We also have Claude. Um, Better than ChatGPT for longer, more nuanced writing. If you're putting together presentations, drafting detailed emails, summarizing long documents, anything where your tone really does make the difference, Claude is an amazing tool. We all know Google Gemini. See, now we also want to mention that there are some free versions of all of these as well as some paid versions. So, as a beginner in these programs or these AI tools, always try the free version first to determine whether or not you need the actual paid version. Google Gemini is connected to Google Search, so it pulls the most current information. It's good for market research, neighborhood summaries. Perplexity. This is one that I'm actually getting into right now because it's kind of a hybrid situation. It is part assistant and part search engine. It doesn't generate text like chat does, but what it essentially it searches the web in the real time as well as cite the sources, which becomes so important for us as agents that we need to verify everything that the AI tool will give to us. Because one thing that we'll talk about a little later is about AI hallucinating. And there's some other notable mentions like Grok. People are really jumping on Grok right now. And that's the AI that's associated to X. And then we have Copilot, which is Microsoft's AI tool. Now we can talk about graphics when it comes to graphics and visual content. So we always have Canva. Canva Pro is amazing. It can really design some really great flyers, social media graphics, all with this AI assistance. We got Adobe Firefly, which is specifically for image generation built to all the Adobe tools. And again, we have chat because chat crosses so many different lines, but you do have to have the paid version in order to produce image generation. You can do like a couple, I want to say it's maybe three if you have the free program per day. So you just put in the prompt, and I'm so glad we're going to talk about prompts in just a little bit. So that way we'll be able to talk about how to get the AI tools to create the images and the things that we want. Um, Google Gemini also has their program is called Nana Banana. Yeah, Nana Banana. So it has that same capabilities to create a lot of images. The Google tool is one of the greatest ones out there, if I honestly would say so myself. Um, but we'll talk about a few more later. All right, so when it comes to images and video creation, we got Midjourney. Midjourney is another image generation tool. We got Sora. Sora is a really fun AI tool. Every time I see a Sora video, it just makes me laugh because you can literally make it do whatever you want it to do. I have a rap video that I'm gonna post sometime soon, so you guys can see me talking about real estate. Hey Gen is an avatar and video creation platform. It will produce professional looking videos as well as a digital version of yourself. It's great for real estate agents, coaches, business owners who want to create video content without being on camera every single time. Now, 11 Labs is a voice generation tool that produces natural sounding human voices from text. Now, HeyGen as well as 11 Labs can work together. These are both paid programs, but some of the work that I have seen that it does, some of the things that I've done with it myself, it is amazing. Now, we do have some property specific stuff, virtual staging AI, Box Brownie, Chat GPT, and we're going to actually do a live demo. We're going to do a demo of showing how to virtually stage a property, and it does it at a fraction of the cost. Listed AI is specifically for real estate. It helps you to generate listing descriptions, social posts, and emails from your property details. Now, let's talk about productivity and administration. Otter AI, records and transcribes your buyer seller consultations. It gives you a summary with the action items so nothing falls through the crack. Even with Zoom, Zoom also has recording features so you can get a record of your conversation. So things that you need to follow up on. Notion AI, it helps you to organize your business. It's like an AI assistant that can help you draft, summarize, manage notes. Zapier automates repetitive tasks in your apps. You can use this in many, many different ways, especially when it comes to things like your CRM. Which is kind of transition us right into Lofty is one of the tools that has an AI that is built into it. You can use Zapier to connect. We get a lead in, it'll come in one place, it'll go automatically in your CRM. Your CRM begins to communicate with your actual clients. Structurally, when it comes to handling lead conversations via text or chat, it can help you qualify them and hands off the warm ones to you. So it kind of helps you to pre-qualify them and have conversation with them before you actually even have a conversation with them. So now let's talk about what is a prompt. This is the key right here. The key is where people struggle at the absolute most. Some people say, it doesn't work for me. It doesn't, I don't understand. What am I supposed to put in it? This part of our presentation today will be specific on how to actually write a prompt. What is a prompt? It is simply the instructions you give to AI when you type something into your either your chat, your Claude, or any other AI tool. Whatever you type is your prompt. AI reads it and responds to it based on what it is that you. So here is the objectives when it comes to having a prompt. You need to be specific about what you want. If you want something vague, you're going to get something vague. You put vague prompts in, you're going to get a vague response. The more you give it, the better the results will be. You also want to make sure you give it relevant context. AI doesn't know your situation unless you share it. Include details like who you are, who it's for, what's the tone you want to go with it. These things will help you come off the right way because sometimes you might want to sound a little more warm. Sometimes you might want to sound a little more professional. Sometimes you may want to sound direct, as well as stating the desired format or the outcome. Tell AI what you want the finished product to look like. Should it be a bullet list? Should it be a paragraph? Should it be a script? Is it something that's going to be used for the MLS, 250 words or less? But defining the output format saves you multiple rounds of revisions. So the components of a prompt, you need to give it a role. Tell AI who you want it to be. You're a real estate copywriter, you're a real estate agent, you're a real estate coach, you are a real estate professional. The task, you're telling it what you want it to do. Write me a listing description. Write me an email to explain, yada, yada, yada. When you are giving it this information, it is going to do just what you're asking it to do. Give details, be specific as possible. Give it the specifics, bed, baths, locations, features, even give it a tone. And then you want to also format it the right way. Tell it how you want it to respond. Do you want 50 words, 150 words? Do you want a call to action? Do you want this to be in a slides feature? Tell it what you want it to do. So here is we're going to talk about good prompts versus bad prompts. Write me a listing presentation. And then it gives you this whole setup right here. Step into comfort and style and everyday ease in this beautifully maintained home that checks all of the boxes, featuring a spacious, functional layout. This property offers a perfect blend, and we have all seen these prompts on the MLS, and it's like, we know you didn't write that. It sounds like it, it feels like it. It doesn't even feel like it gave anything except for what a computer gave you. So you want to And each program, as you will see, you can use all three different programs, and you will get three completely different responses. So I'm just going to contrast what happens in chat versus what happens in Claude. So Claude, write me a listing description. It started asking me questions because I didn't give it enough information. A couple of quick questions before starting. What's this property for? Is this for a different property? And it will give you options. Is this what's the stone and the style and the tone that you want? For me, I am always clean and professional. That is always my go-to. Clean and professional, and the next one I used more is warm and inviting. And it says, got it. Tell me about the property. Share whatever details you have, which I find that this is a great tool right here because it doesn't just spit you out something. It actually asks you enough questions so it can write you a great prompt so that you are able to. So now we have a good prompt in ChatGPT. And here is the prompt. You are a real estate copywriter who specializes in warm, inviting listing descriptions. Write a 150 word MLS description for a 4 bed, 3 bathroom ranch home in Blythewood, South Carolina. Here is the property address, open floor plan, granite countertops, covered back porch, and a 2 car garage. The tone should be warm and inviting, and end with a call to action to schedule a showing. Welcome to 215 Falling Leaves Lane in the heart of Blythewood, South Carolina, where modern comfort meets everyday ease. Built in 2021, this beautifully designed 4 bedroom, 3 bathroom ranch offers a spacious open floor plan, perfect for relaxing and entertaining. Well, this description sounds a whole lot more like me. I still go in and I still tweak this just a little bit because it may be a little long for the MLS, but for me, I just want it to sound like how I would describe the property. And one of the things that we should always be doing as real estate professionals is giving a call to action because what we want to do literally is have them to call you. Every email, there should be a call to action because we don't just want to um, say something. I want to invite you to have a conversation with me. Now, here is the same prompt, but now this one right here comes um, from Claude. Welcome to this beautifully maintained ranch nestled in the heart of Blythewood, built in 2024. This thoughtfully designed 4 bedroom, 3 bathroom home offers the perfect blend of modern living and everyday comfort. I'm sorry, Step inside and feel instantly at ease with bright open floor plan that flows effortlessly from room to room. Now, this sounds like me, and this sounds more like me right here because I am a Claude user more of a than a chat user. Um, because we're going to talk about training your AI a little later. Because whenever we're doing something, we have to train our AI. The more we use it, the more it becomes familiar with us, the more it sounds like us, the more it gives us the way in which we would want to hear it sound.
Yeah, they did.
All right, so turn it over to Vince.
We're going to talk a little bit about this and one more thing, kind of like Steve Jobs used to do when he was presenting his Apple products. He would every year he would wait until the very last minute and then he would give you the big news. But almost any AI platform you prefer to use, my number one is Chat GPT. It can be like a conversational AI partner. This quick video will give you kind of how to start, and then when it's finished, I'd like to give you a couple of sort of advanced things that you can do that I think you're going to think after you hear about it is going to be just off the scale, amazingly productive tool for y'all. Here's a quick tutorial on how to use Chat GPT on your phone app as your conversational AI partner. In the phone app, at the bottom right, there's a small white icon. That's how you start the ball rolling. I'm going to use a quick scenario. I know it's not real world. None of us as real estate agents have ever dealt with this, but I just want to throw something out there to give you an example. So here we go. So I've got a seller client, a little bit of a challenging client. We're on the second contract. The first contract terminated because during due diligence, they did inspections. There were some items on there the buyer wasn't comfortable with. The seller would not address them. That terminated. A couple of weeks later now, we have another contract, another buyer. They did inspections. The same items came up. Now they want to terminate. I've got to have a conversation with the seller and try to make things work somehow so we don't have to worry about a third contract potentially, and this one goes down too. A bit of a difficult seller, as I said, kind of knows everything, doesn't really see a lot of value in a real estate agent. So I need a productive approach so I can have a good conversation with this client.
I'd begin by showing them that you respect their perspective. They know their home well. Then highlight that you're both working toward the same goal, a successful sale. Emphasize that these inspection items are recurring obstacles, and resolving them now could save them from more delays or lost deals. Offer options, maybe a preemptive repair allowance or tackling the key issues. Ultimately, your expertise is in preventing repeat headaches and guiding them to a smooth close.
And so one of the things everything that was discussed is in a transcript. Okay, you can save it down. I was going to mention everything is in the transcript. And one of the things that I didn't get into, just in the interest of time, we've got a short window here for our lunch and learn, is now you can bounce another idea off. So ChatGPT gives you a way to approach it. You can say, okay, I tried that one time, but this client constantly interrupts me. Or this client says, no, they're not paying any money. So literally it's a back and forth conversation. Yes, you can type it in, but how much time do we spend in our vehicles? A lot. It's a great predictive tool. I use it a lot. I use the, again, conversational button when I'm driving back and forth, and it will save everything. And as James mentioned, one of the most important things, whatever platform you choose you're going to use, and you're going to use as your paid platform, you need to educate it. It will remember things. So you could go back, let's say a month from now, and say, okay, we had this conversation before about a difficult client. I've got another one, but here's how it's different. So it will remember. So again, as James said, training your chat GPT is absolutely critically important as well. Virtual staging is something that I have found has been an incredible tool. There's a before and after photo, and then we've got a quick video. But as we all know, homes look better as much as people say, no, I want to see it empty. It looks, I can then visualize my own furniture. Well, everybody knows rooms look smaller. They maybe have a difficult time. It's tough to really make vacant properties look exciting. It's an amazing tool. And all you have to do is upload it, the photo, tell it what you would like it to do. And within minutes, you have a really, really nice photo to use for your MLS. Another thing that it can do, which again, in the interest of time, I didn't demonstrate, but you can also minimize rooms. So you can take a room that they've done the best they can do for now, and you can say, remove everything in this room except, and say, sofa, love seat, coffee table, end table, artwork on the wall, and maybe a side chair, and it will literally take everything out and virtually minimize it. And here's our demo. Okay, let's show you how to virtually stage a room. You have photographs, the rooms in your listing are empty, the photographs are nice, they've been taken by a professional photographer. Boy. But you'd like to have furniture. So where should we begin? First, you want to pick the photograph of the room that you would like to stage. We're going to do the great room. So find the photo on your computer, highlight it, open it. Once that's finished loading, as we've discussed, you want to enter a good prompt and telling ChatGPT exactly what you want to do. Virtually stage this image by adding an IKEA-style sofa, love seat, end table, and coffee table, and add a flat screen TV above the fireplace. All other aspects of the image the same. So once you click on that, it'll start analyzing the image. Once it is analyzed for a moment, it will then start creating the image. And it doesn't take long, typically with good bandwidth and good download upload speed, maybe 15, 20 seconds, sketching it out. And the good thing is if you have an app, ChatGPT app, if you're using that and it's on your phone and you're logged into the same account, once that image has been completed, you will then be notified on your phone app, and you'll also be able to see the photo and download it there. So it's almost done, and there we have it. And what it also did, see, you can hear the notification because I have my notifications from my phone enabled on Windows, but it also added some nice accent items to this area, the built-in shelving.
So, what AI gets wrong? And this is a good segue based on what we just seen when it comes to virtual staging, because we have seen some virtual staging that has went wrong. So AI is literally a tool. It's just a starting point. It can generate confident sounding misinformation. This behavior is called as an hallucination, or is known as an hallucination. Treat every AI input as a first draft and always verify the facts before publishing. You are the expert. AI is the tool. Because, like we were just looking at the demo, this is a great picture. And I absolutely love what AI did. But sometimes we have seen in some AI pictures where it'll put sockets or electrical outlets in place that they don't belong. And so someone sees this in a photo and they're like, wait a minute, based on the photo, it did this. So you have to make sure that you are looking at the information and verifying. You are the expert, you are the agent. So it's your responsibility to verify the information. And based on that, we have to go back to the Real Estate Commission stance on AI. The licensee under this chapter is responsible for any and all work product produced by him or with the assistance of artificial intelligence, learning machine, or similar programs. A violation of this chapter is a violation of this chapter that is committed through the use of these programs will be treated as if the violation was committed directly by the licensee. So we got to make sure that we are the responsible parties for whatever our AI produces.
So when we talk about confidentiality, it's really, really important. Obviously, in our normal day-to-day real estate practice, we have a fiduciary responsibility to clients when we have an exclusive right to sell agreement or a buyer agency agreement, but it doesn't stop with AI. We may think that just because it's a program and it's not a live person, that you don't have to be careful. But sensitive client information, when you upload these documents, no, it's not a person receiving it, but caution still is required because that information, again, is being transmitted and stored. So it's important to treat it with the same level of confidentiality and care that you would a printed piece of paper, an email, etc. We all know that most of the law offices have a disclaimer at the bottom that if you're receiving an email and it's not meant for you, you're supposed to delete it and notify the sender. But be very careful. You never want to upload full names, phone numbers, email addresses, socials, if we ever have that, driver's license, birth dates, etc. And also things like must sell by, because they have a divorce, motivation, needs to close fast, things like that. And here's a quick demo. So AI is a really, really good tool to redact information, to analyze information that you have in a document that you want to, like we talked about earlier, simplify it for a client to be able to understand it in layperson's terms. But it's important to redact that information from the document. And this quick tutorial here will tell you how to redact it from a PDF. The way you do that is basically go to whatever folder the document is in. This folder, sample document to redact, open it up, and it will automatically open up. If you have the basic Adobe Acrobat, you don't have to have an Adobe Pro or a special editing program for PDF. You go to the sidebar and you'll click highlight. Down here, you select the color. There's a number of colors. Select black. Make sure the opacity is at 100%. That means all the information after you highlight it will be blacked out. Usually the line thickness, I do 12 to 14 point, unless you're going to do a couple of lines at a time. Go to whatever text you want to black out and redact. Line doesn't have to be perfect. It'll automatically straighten it out. Take out the address, take out the tax map number, which can also be traced back, of course, associated with the property. Go to the buyer, take out James Robertson's information, take out my name. And now you're going to have a document that you can upload and ask questions about certain sections, how it relates to your buyer, how it relates to your seller, and the information has been redacted. At this point, go to Save As. Save it back to the same folder. That document was called this, and you can just say done, whatever you want to call it. It's saved, back to the folder. Open that one up, and now you have a document with the confidential client information that has been redacted. And one more comment I wanted to make that I forgot regarding the virtual staging. We see a lot of listings out there where the room has been virtually staged and they have the before and after photo. I don't know that that's a rule. What I do is I put a little watermark at the bottom of the photo that has been virtually staged, and I just say virtually staged. I think in some ways it sort of takes away the pizzazz if you do that, but that'll be up to y'all. But that's my best practice that I do.
All right. So as we come to the end, and we're going to open up for questions in just a couple of minutes, just a couple of AI reminders and some guidelines. Always read AI generated neighborhood descriptions before publishing. AI can unintentionally use language that raises fair housing concerns. Your professional review is a non-negotiable. Always review and personalize AI generated content before publishing. Basically, it's the same thing, but this is important to keep saying and keep reiterating over and over and over again. AI is a tool, not a replacement for your expertise. If you want your scripts and emails to sound more human, your AI has to be trained. You can give your AI a brain. If anybody is interested, they could definitely reach out to me. I do have a prompt that is ready to go that will help you to train your AI. You got to be patient with it. It takes a long time because it's going to ask you a lot about who you are, your business, what you're used to doing, how long you've been in the business, companies you work for. It's going to ask you a lot of information, but that information is there to help you to create your AI brain. So whenever you use your AI, it'll sound just like you. So here is one way to train your AI is to give it your voice first. If you want your scripts to sound and emails to sound more human, it has to be trained. Give it a brain. Tell it to ditch corporate speak. Add this to any prompt. Avoid buzzwords, filler phrases, overly formal language. Write it like a person talking to a friend. Watch for punctuation. Punctuation tells AI overuses M dashes. You will see the little dash in everything. Ellipses, and excessive bold text. They're dead giveaways. Replace the M dashes with a period, a colon, or a simple because, but, or and. Add specifics you want. Add only add specifics only you want to swap generic details for real ones. Instead of a great neighborhood, say right around the corner from Harbison or Sand Hills. That makes it sound local and professional. So now we're going to kind of open it up for some questions. Kenny, Henrietta, any questions? And I know we have Tammy. She has her hand raised. So let's see if we can.
Tammy, do you want to go ahead and if you're able to unmute because you've had yours raised for a while, I'll give you the opportunity to ask if you can unmute. If not, we'll go to what is next on the list.
I don't think anybody else talk. It's a webinar format. I don't think anybody.
While we're doing that, We did have one question, and I think I kind of can know the answer on this, but James, I'll get your feedback. Ben was asking if you're using forms from Zip Forms, will this let you edit those docs? Many times when I try to edit or sign on a document from Zip Form, it says I'm not authorized to edit, and that can, kind of cause a little delay. Um, I have an answer on that, but what's your guys' take on documents using AI that may have some issues as far as the editing capabilities?
A lot of the programs like ZipForms, Loop, DocuSign that we use will not allow you to redact the information as I shown. So sometimes, I mean, you can try doing a cute PDF or Microsoft print to PDF, but a lot of times that won't even allow it. So what I do, a lot of times I'll print it, rescan it in, and that's the way you have to do it. And again, it's another step, but at this point, that's probably more than worth it if you're looking for that, detailed information and analysis. So excellent question. Excellent question.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that, a lot of times you're going to have encryption that is going to be pretty much embedded, as you were saying, Vince, on those documents. So,
Mhm.
having to do it in a manual way, even if you try to go ahead and reformat into a flat PDF, doesn't necessarily fix it if you have that end-to-end encryption from sender to, well, excuse me, from deliver to sender, that's going to stop all the editing anyway. But I agree, fantastic question. AI doesn't change everything, so sometimes I get a little old school. I believe we may have another. Um, Question. No, so let's see here. James, slides. Are we going to make these slides available?
Yes, we can make them available.
Okay. All right. So for everybody that was asking, we will have the slides available. We had quite a few people asking about that.
And just
Um,
adding something that I was going to make a point. Save the link to this recording if it's possible. I don't know if we can download the entire video. There is so much information that we've just given. There's no way you can absorb it in one, two, five, 10, how many viewings. So I would definitely do that. Watch it over and over again. Make your notes. The slides are really important, but also watching the video because obviously everything we said is not in all of those slides. But I mean, even James, who I think is one of the most AI savvy people I've ever talked to, especially in real estate, he's learning all the time. We're all learning, but
Mhm.
definitely this needs to be watched more than once, more than 10 times probably.
Let me ask you guys, I have a question. I'm gonna ask you guys an opinion on this for myself. So, obviously, a few of the things we are talking about as far as different softwares, different products, for example, have their own version of AI embedded. Is Canva as an example. Me
Mhm.
being a heavy RPR user, I'm, using RPR, and RPR also has its own element of AI there. I actually went around RPR's use for once, though, just recently, as I had obtained a land listing that was outside of our MLS. So what I wanted the ChatGPT model to do was kind of give me some insight as far as price per acre and things like that. In this case, it would be the Florence area. So I don't want to go into deep into as far as what I did, but I know that you guys are probably kind of tinkered with that idea as well. What general tips can you guys advise on that aspect? And I bring that up because as we had our appraisal lunch and learn just a few weeks ago, I was asking them what their thoughts were as far as different uses of AI and things, not necessarily for their use, but our general use. What's you guys' take or tips and trips on not only just things like that, but other things that we may use with RPR, CMAs, and things like that that could help us as far as the Chat GPT and the AI conversation?
I'll
Go
take this.
first. So I've used RPR not
Okay.
as much as you have, I don't think, Kenny, but I have used it. And I think there is an AI tool built into it because one of the
Mhm.
things I find that's really, really good is making adjustments. So this is a while back. I was getting ready to list a property in Laurel Hill. There've been so many updates done. You can't really go by comps that were built in 1940, 1950, even if they were updated. This is a newer home with updates. And when you add in all the differences of your property, updated kitchen, flooring, appliances, structured wiring, outdoor kitchen, then put it in, RPR is excellent like that. It will definitely take it, analyze it with I know it's got to be an AI tool. Now going outside of our MLS, I've only ever had to do that once, and this is a referral we gave for some land up in the Greenville area. I found that using Chat GPT, giving it enough parameters, it gave me some really good comps up in that area. It's not going to replace someone who knows the area, but when I called and gave the referral to the agent I've talked to before, he was really impressed, and he said, "Wow." Do you have access to the Greenville, Greater Greenville or whatever MLS?" And I said, "No." So like James is stressed, and I can't stress enough either. Prompts are critical. Like you're having a conversation, like you're speaking to a child, or maybe above that, maybe a high school or college person.
Mhm.
Describe just like you're talking to a person exactly what you want AI to do. Use that conversational tool with, and actually, James, I don't think you really use that much,
Mm-mm.
that thing that James, oh, that's really cool. Just you're speaking. You don't have to type it in. Speak that, and I very rarely actually type anything in unless I'm sort of taking my prompt and just tweaking it a little bit. But that conversational tool, you can literally you can have a full-on conversation. If it doesn't get it right, okay, adjust this, do this, and just play with it a little bit. And like James said, anytime you have a question, I'm open as well. I'm not an expert by any means, but we may be a little bit ahead of some of the beginners or just intermediate users. Give us a call, give us a text, and happy to give you some insight on that.
Have nothing to add to that.
Awesome. One question we do have, James. Somebody said they would love to hear you give AI a brain tactic, and also great information today.
Okay, say that again. Sorry.
Somebody was saying that they would love to hear your give AI a brain tactic.
Oh, I have a prompt that if you want it, email me, text me, and I will get it to you. It is specific for to train your AI. It's not just I tell it I want this or I want that. It's asking me questions. James, how long you been in the business? Do you work more with buyers? Do you work more with sellers? Tell me about momentum coaching. What is that all about? Tell me about what you do outside of your actual, what do I do outside of real estate, outside of like with my church or my ministry related stuff? It's asking me all of those different questions so it gets a real sense of who I am and not just me as James, the real estate professional, but you're also getting the coaching version of me. You're getting the mentoring version of me. You're getting a ministry side of me. So when they're crafting the language for me, it's asking me also what's the tone do you want primarily for all of your emails, or what's the tone you want primarily? It's asking me all of those things, and it will confirm it for me later when I'm actually writing or doing something again, because they want to make sure that that tone actually works for this specific thing, because you can't be warm and inviting on every single email. Sometimes you might want to be more professional. You might want to be more direct. So it gives me the opportunity to give a baseline, and it also allows me the opportunity to make adjustments as I'm using the tool. So I can get you that information. Yes. Thank you, Kenny, for putting the email in the thing, in the
Gotcha.
chat.
And
Gotcha.
James, with that
Yes.
being said, is that the version that is, I know you mentioned earlier that you do have some paid versions, and some free versions. So with that prompt, which version would they need? Can they still use the free version with that prompt?
You can still use the free version. Yeah. The paid versions just give you usually more access to do more things. But writing prompts and stuff like that, it'll give it to you. It'll do it for you.
Regardless, though, if I can add to that, regardless of whether you do a paid version or free version, you always want to sign up. A lot of us are afraid to sign up for this, sign up for that. Even if you're going to use one that you're not going to pay for until you feel like, okay, this is going to be a good fit, always use your email and a login, because otherwise it's not going to remember anything. It will remember, if you've got a login, and you've got an account, if you will, even if it's not paid.
Right.
And to kind of piggyback a little bit on what James was talking about with prompts, because this is really critically important. One of the number one things that I have used AI for that's been a tremendous help: texts, emails, property descriptions. But talking about texts and emails, one of the things I always do if I'm trying to draft an email and it's maybe a new client, someone's been referred to me, I tell AI a little bit about that person. Now, I know we can't say, family, kids. I mean, familial status is protected. Can't talk about, sex, male or female, whatever age. But I'll say, okay, this is a professional person, very well educated, college educated. They want to be closer to downtown. They're really very tech savvy. I want to write an email to them introducing myself, and I want to have the flavor of this email give them the impression, not give them the impression, let them know that I'm pretty tech savvy, even from my age group, and I will be able to provide them with the property information they need, the insight and the guidance to help buy them the property they want. And it will tailor it around that. If you could, conversely, I've got an elderly person that I want to send an email to, not very tech savvy. They probably maybe not even have a smartphone. It will tailor everything to that. And with your property descriptions and your remarks, 2,250 characters and spaces is what it's now allowed in public remarks. And I use all of them most of the time, but also say the demographic I'm trying to reach with this is, professional people that want to be close to downtown. They may not have any members of the household that are attending school or that maybe has a tricycle outside, keeping within fair housing guidelines. They don't want a yard that they have to really maintain a lot. I want to highlight those aspects, use this general description of the property that I've given you so far to give me an enhanced remarks section. And it'll blow your mind. It will.
Awesome. One question. We got a few minutes left before we wrap up. I want to put both of you guys on the spot. Obviously, with our attendee group, I'm assuming a lot of attendee groups are here because they want to learn about the general use of AI and tips and tricks from the pros. So, with that said, from each one of you, if you had to choose one of the large language models, the chat GPTs or the AIs, let me not say chat GPTs, but the AIs, which one would you recommend to the newer user? And why would you say it's ChatGPT? No, I'm just kidding. Which one? Why would it be the one that you choose? James, if you could start real quick, and Vince, I want your feedback as well.
Okay, so for me, I would choose Claude. And because I choose Claude because what I do a lot of is presentations. And so Claude, the model Claude, the presentation version is if I ask it to write so and so, it always gives it to me in a presentation format. So it makes life really, really easy. I can go in and make the adjustment. I can save it, write it, type it. It'll come up in every format that I need. If I need to put it into Google Slides, because I've connected my Google Drive to it. So it'll give me a slides presentation. It'll give me a handout that goes with the presentation. So for me, I like the way it works better for me because my basic function is a lot of presentations and giving people information. So for me, and then I wasn't familiar with it at first because chat is the one everybody knows and goes to. It feels like the oldest one. It's the one we all use. But the more I use Claude, the more I realize it's more built for me. And every AI feature and tool doesn't work the same way for everybody. So I would tell people to try them out to see which one works best for you. But for me, Claude is a better one for me.
Good deal. Good deal. A few minutes left,
I
Vince.
I started with Chat GPT, and I've looked into some of the other ones. I will say this: I was very like blown away by all the options that James offered. He did all of the slides regarding all the other different AI platforms. One thing I like about Chat GPT is I have found it's been very intuitive about not just information that I've given it and how I've trained it, but intuitive about what maybe I want. If anyone's ever done any counseling or therapy or whatever, or coaching is another good example, from outside, that live person will give you insight you never even thought about. And I found that with ChatGPT. And I would strongly recommend anybody just starting with AI, ChatGPT is the place to start. I think the most user friendly. It's not super expensive, $20 and change. I would definitely say anybody that's a professional realtor, it's more than worth the $20 a month from the onset of it. Get it on your phone as well. Use that conversational tool. But I think for user friendly, learning, and it's overall, I think, the most well-rounded tool out there. The other ones are great when you want to get into the specifics, like James talked about, more staging, more market research. You want to get into the listed AI, the CRM. There's other ones for that, but that's a really, really good start. And again, I think a good start only. I definitely think you should plan if you're going to be into AI and you're going to make it an integral part of your practice. You need to have more than just that one platform. But that's I think an ideal starting point.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Awesome.
Great. Thank you all. So thank you so much, James and Vince, for sharing those AI gems. We really appreciate it. And thank you so much for Grace. Give them a hand. Thank you so much to Grace and the CCRA staff for your support. Grace, I think that's the end,
Yeah,
unless you have anything to add.
I'll just add, I'll let everyone know we should be able to post this recording. It'll be posted on our YouTube page. We'll link it on our Facebook, and then we'll also try to link the slides as well. So that'll be a great resource. You can come back to this recording here, but we'll try to get that posted this week. So thank you to everybody for joining us. And that's it for our Lunch and Learn here.